Goon here, fucking talking about gun control. We'll shortly have a visitor, but Jed, or Bing, sorry, I'll drop your name a couple times, but shooting and what happened and how we could have prevented it. Agreed. It happened. Right. So, do you think people are overreacting per se, over the event? I mean, obviously it's a horrible event. Don't get me wrong, and I do believe that people should have taken a moment's silence for the kids that passed away, because I mean a kid's life is more important than most adults' life, because they're the future, of our nation, realistically, right? Alright, so like, but it comes down to a couple things. Do you think we need stricter gun laws, or do you think we need education? Do you I guess what's your opinion on what is gun control to you? That's the real question, right?
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds left. Op 4 drone has located the biohazard container.
Okay, but do you believe... Right. Okay, so but like, do you believe that should even be a thing though? Like, why is that a thing? Right? It's my Second Amendment right. I'm gonna play devil's advocate for now. It's my Second Amendment right. I have every right to own a gun. Nobody should be able to tell me I can't own a gun, and nobody should be able to limit what kind of gun I wanna have, except for a automatic rifle. Right? I personally don't believe in automatic rifles. I mean, unless you're a military, no. I believe in semi-automatic rifles, and I believe that I should be able to own like a 22 that I can tap, 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 tap. But no, I don't think that I need an automatic. I don't need a fucking Uzi. What am I gonna use an Uzi for, right? Front door? Yeah, apparently. Like, and that's really what it comes down to. I feel like at that point, it comes to education, right? He was 19 years old. He returned to the school that he went to. He was no, he didn't graduate, is what it was. Yeah. That's alright. We're playing just to fuck around. We're not trying to win too much. We're talking. But I mean, my thing is like, he was 19, and I feel like he probably wasn't properly educated. Trouble passed, right? Which is a huge issue. Now, was that the reason why he shot up the school? No, I think that a lot of it could have came from, I mean...
I can only hear you. If you're talking to someone else, laugh.
Okay. Jed, you need to fix your audio. Nobody can hear you. Yeah. Let me check something here. So you need to go to broadcast settings. So hit the home button, go up, go to settings. You're gonna see sharing and broadcasts. Broadcast or audio sharing settings. You should have include. Hold on. Accept this. We will find out. Give me 1 second. I want to check one more thing. That's fine. I don't want to. Okay, so we have 2 people that just talked. Runaway voices. Can you hear him now? Jed, I'm gonna need you to talk. Or Bing, I'm gonna need you to talk. This shit's crazy. But anyway, so we were on the topic of what he needed, right? And why people think that. Is that upstairs? Okay. But like, Jesus, was it really a gun issue, or was it a mental health
correct,
issue?
by the way, but no, I can't hear him.
She still can't hear you. What in the fuck?
I have not moved this spot.
You have found the biohazard container. Proceed to its location.
Reloading.
They're saying they can't hear me at all.
Charge ready to blow.
So let's go to game chat. No, it's fine. Fuck it. Let's go to game chat. And we can just mute everyone.
Op 4 last operator standing. Secure the container.
Oh, fuck.
Fucking cross trap. Okay. So you should be able to hear him now. Is that correct, Kylie?
Correctamundo? No? Yes, no? Maybe so.
Anyways, okay, so like, this is the thing.
Am I audible now?
I feel like you're audible now. I feel like you gotta be audible now. This is the thing, right? Like, I personally believe it was a mental health issue.
Yeah.
She can hear you.
There's not really nowhere or anywhere.
No way around it. Yeah. Okay. So now, realistically, what is it about mental health? Like, what led so many teenagers, or even adults? Because we'll go ahead and look at Las Vegas, for instance, right? What has led these people to gain a stockpile of guns or whatever, and decide that they need to shoot a bunch of fucking people, right? Like, what is it that has led them to do that? Depression, bipolar, schizophrenia. I mean, that's what people blame it on, but really, is it even that? Or is it education? Is it knowing what's good and right? Is it...
Well,
I don't know, man.
I
Like,
mean, even thinking about that, some teachers are fucked up, man. Some teachers are just as mean to kids as
oh yeah, 100%.
other kids are to kids. So
I
you know
think
what
that's
I mean?
why I personally think that's why he killed his coach. That football coach.
I heard that
coach is
coach was just taking bullets for kids.
I mean, but if you were a bullied kid that was not athletic at all, would you not, maybe consider, well, fuck this coach that didn't let me,
That sat me on the bench all the time.
yeah, or didn't even, give me a chance because maybe I wasn't as athletic as other people, but like, he couldn't have just been put me on a bench and put me in a couple games,
Well, I mean, coming from me who sat on the bench a lot,
Right.
I mean, there was nothing really that I held against coaches. I just wasn't starting material, you know what I mean? It was,
You have been spotted by hostiles.
it's nothing
Fall
like that.
back.
Right.
It can't really come down to that.
So
It's just the fact that
so you're looking at
coaches want to win.
right. You're looking at comments, correct?
No, I actually couldn't find the live.
Okay, it should be up now. You should be able to see that, so you can also see the comments. You don't have to reiterate everything.
Okay. Is there a hatch in this room? No.
No. Oh god, that's Blackbeard. But like, so
Yeah, and that falls into
Friendly
the
last operator standing.
Kylie brings up a good
category.
point. You know, I did know her, and she was bullied, but she would never hurt anybody. You know, and so like, I don't necessarily think that it even comes down to bullying. I think it comes down to people just being bad, right? Like being
Yeah,
mean,
I mean-
being just degrading to others. Like,
Yeah, that's
I-
that's definitely a real issue.
You know?
And you know, and that kind of starts with parents.
right?
Yeah, if we can just not.
You should
have
mute
the volume
mute
on
the
that.
volume. Yeah, just mute it.
Yeah. I can't bring up the comments, so
Are you doing it on your phone?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I will just I'll read them to you, or I'll paraphrase. But like, I don't know, man. This is a
Oh,
thing,
fuck.
right?
Failed.
And
All friendlies have been
you know,
neutralized.
Kylie, or not Kylie, it was Pepper brought up a good point. People need positive coping mechanisms and to deal with their problems. So that brings in a whole new topic almost, right? Of mental illness awareness and what being mentally ill is. I mean, first I feel like we need to define three things in this conversation and where it's going. The first thing is we need to define gun control. What is gun control? What does the nation need to look at as gun control? Where do we need to be as gun control, with gun control? Then second thing is going to be mental illness, right? Like mental illness and what is societal views on mental illness, and where can we change it from being a negative connotation or negative aspect to a positive aspect?
I think a fucking thing that people made to blame something on to like use it more than they want to talk about mental issues, mental health.
Right. So you would say
you
you're,
make guns harder to get. Whatever, dude. You know, you don't ever hear, oh, well, little fucking Johnny went to his school with a fucking machete and chopped up a bunch of his classmates.
But you
know
do
what
hear
I
that
mean?
you do hear about that in other countries, man. Like I know in Mexico,
Well,
that is a thing.
I mean, that's-
100%. That's a thing in Mexico.
Well, we don't have a fucking American fucking mafia, mob, whatever the fuck, cartel. You know what I mean?
You don't have one. You don't have one in Utah. You're correct, but there is one here in Arizona.
But really, I mean, they're not doing it to the extent of fucking any other place.
I mean, they are. That's the thing, right? So I feel like to an extent it comes to when gun control, right? I brought up this earlier in an earlier stream. However, I'm going to bring it up now because I think it's very relevant in kind of the place and conversation we're at. Switzerland is a perfect example. They are, by law, their citizens are required to own a gun, right? They are required to own a gun. They educate their citizens on gun control. They educate them on what guns can do and when to use them, right? If we have a basis of teaching these kids and teaching adults even and everyone what a gun can do and where and when is a proper place to use a gun, what exactly self-defense is, people are going to be terrified to pull a gun on somebody because they know at that point the other person also has a gun,
Comes
right?
down to the trigger finger, bro.
It levels it. Well, yes and no, but it levels a playing field. And guess what has happened? Switzerland, since they have made this law, it has decreased the amount of gun-related deaths. So explain to me how making a stricter gun law for people and making it harder for people to get a gun, even though they are, okay, if they're mentally ill. I have bipolar. From what you want to do, it would make it almost impossible for me to own a gun. And I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like what you brought up, right? It would make it impossible for me.
So are you like saying ease up, maybe?
No, I'm not saying ease up at all. I'm saying make it a requirement. I'm saying make every citizen at the age of, we'll say 20, 21 years old, be required to purchase or even better yet, have the government give a gun to every single person and explain to them and make them go through a course and go through an education where they now know what will happen, and then make the penalties if they use a gun in the wrong way extreme. What do you think about that?
Oh, fuck, I don't even know what to think, dude.
I mean, I don't know, dude. I really feel like it gets to a point where people complain about guns, but they aren't willing to do anything about it, right? And that's fine.
Fair, just like anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like that's what you and I, in a sense, are doing currently. However, I feel like it also comes down to statistics. You need to be able to see what is going on in other countries, not even just ours, but other countries, and look at the statistics of gun-related deaths and the current gun laws, and we need to mock those. Because if we can get on a universal basis of gun control, everything is going to decrease. If we mock current Switzerland, right? If we mock Switzerland's gun control and what they do, it is a possibility that it could be both ways, lower or higher, the gun-related death rate.
Yeah. Hey, I have a real problem right now.
Okay.
I'm kind of really wanting to play. This is totally off topic. We've been in this lobby for 5 minutes, just kind of, you know.
No, that's fine. No.
I'll play for
I don't know. Let's move on to mental illness though, because I feel like we've kind of drug gun control on for a bit, and it's not really a thing that we disagree on or can really discuss more.
Yeah.
Just mute these guys.
I just switched to part. Okay.
Hey, you're gonna have to stay in game chat.
Game chat, yeah.
Okay, so
God, I keep doing the wrong thing.
what is your view on people with mental illnesses, and like how do you perceive them? I need to know this before we can go forward. I agree.
You have to kind of expand on that.
Okay. So when somebody says I have bipolar, what's your first thought?
Oh, mood swings.
Okay. Hey, Jed.
Which is fair, right?
I don't know.
That's me speaking kind of.
Okay.
That's me speaking kind of from, you know, thinking about other people, maybe what they hear or what they think when they hear that.
Mood swings. I also hear.
Just like.
I also think a lot of people associate bipolar with crazy. Right?
Fair, yeah,
oh, well,
definitely.
if he's bipolar, he's fucking crazy. Misunderstood. Agreed.
Yes.
Now, what about somebody that has bipolar makes them any different realistically than anybody else? So.
Oh, I mean, are there separate, or not separate, I guess, but different kinds of.
Correct. Actually,
bipolar?
there are. There is bipolar 1 and bipolar 2.
Yeah.
Bipolar
you know?
1, and I may actually wind up saying these backwards, but I believe bipolar 1 is more depressive episodes and less manic episodes, right? So I have bipolar 1. I am more depressive, and I have more depressive issues than I have my manic, and like I'm up and about going crazy. And then and that is what bipolar 2 is more manic. They're more engaged, more hypersensitive. They're I don't know. That's pretty much all I can really say at that point. There's one on stairs, Jed.
I got one peeking out this window. Or this door, I guess, not a window. Never mind.
Stay calm.
Fuck. On my dead body. So Emily says, I feel like people put stereotypes on bipolar or really any mental health issue, and that is our problem with mental health. And bipolar, and then Kylie said bipolar feels both sides of the mood spectrum, so sad and super happy at both times, right? But does that make anybody different? Do you feel that way sometimes? Being like, don't you sometimes feel extremely depressed, but then also the next day, you know, your day could just start off right, and you could be super happy, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so then, would you say that there's no reason to stigmatize what bipolar is?
Oh, there is. Or no. I mean, there's not. I mean, it's just... Bottom line to me, people just fucking suck, dude.
Agreed. Oh, 100% agreed.
You know?
Do you think we need to make... Like, what is your opinion on making mental health care and what we need to do with it? Do we need to make it more accessible? Do we need to make it less accessible?
More, definitely.
Right, obviously. And how do we go about doing that, I guess, right? Is it education? Is it giving people a way to change that information? Or to voice their opinion about how they feel and what they are?
I feel... I just don't know, because there's just so many different types of issues that people have, that there's so many different things that could and would help them.
Right. So now, do you think that those things, okay, so, because this is actually something that I currently started thinking of, because I believe it was Emily or Kylie, but they both understand, like, coping skills, right? So, Jet, or being, like, what is a coping skill to you? Like, what coping skills do you use? And it can be any kind of coping skill. I mean, for example, I mean, drinking is a coping skill for some people.
And that's what I was gonna say. I mean, when, you know, when me and my ex, whatever, you know, all that shit happened, that's what I went to.
Right. So, and would you say, though...
I wanted to do.
Right, and would you say, though, that that's a negative coping skill or a positive coping skill?
Negative.
Okay.
Because it kind of, it just...
It made you feel even worse.
Yeah, in the long run, it did.
Okay.
It was awful.
Emily says weed, but I do disagree with weed. I mean, I disagree and I agree, right? I think that weed can help people, but I feel like it can also very much so hinder people. It can, for a perfect example, you know, like you get super paranoid when you smoke, or if you know, and for me, and for me, I get more relaxed. But sometimes if I smoke too much, I become a couch potato and then come into like a more depressive state, right? I am no longer able to function. And of course, you know, weed is something that is definitely being studied a lot currently, and there's a lot of different strains and things that I know that it's becoming a lot more medically altered and able to, you know, see the benefit from certain strains for certain kind of illnesses, right? So I'm not saying that weed is completely bad. I am saying that weed, however, does affect people in a negative way, but it also does help people in a negative way, right? And that's the thing with coping skills. This is not for everyone. Jesus, thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. You're welcome. I got you back.
For help. But I would say, and I'm sure actually almost everybody that is listening, and you yourself could definitely attest to this, that one of the, oh my god, bud.
Dude, he's a fucking dumbass.
One of the biggest coping skills that should be allowed 100% is music. Right?
Yeah.
So I have bipolar, but I have a couple different issues. I like when it comes to my bipolar itself, and I'm gonna be a little open about what exactly goes on with me. Right? I have a learning disorder. I have ADD. I have major depression on top of my bipolar. Right? Like I've also been diagnosed separately major depression. And I personally think that it's possible that I could develop in a, 5-10 years paranoid schizophrenia.
Secure the room.
However,
Hey, I'm gonna tell these guys to get on YouTube and they can voice their opinions too.
yeah, please. That's what this is for. And share the video.
Op 4 drone has found the biohazard
Everyone should
container.
share this video.
But she has opinions. He has opinions. Dallon's just unopinionated.
Dallin,
He's all like, no one likes my opinions.
Dallin, you don't have to like your opinions, but you need to
Goonberger?
voice them.
Just capital
Actually,
G,
no,
capital
I
B,
changed it.
No space. Oh, what is it?
It's the Goon and Bing show.
10 seconds left.
The Goon and Bing Show. B-I-N-G Bing.
5
Everybody
seconds
knows how to
and
spell
counting.
Goon.
But anyways, where I was going is that I have
Located the biohazard
a possibility of
container.
developing paranoid schizophrenia, okay? And
Yeah.
my thing is
YouTube.
where were we in this conversation? Because I totally lost it. Coping skills, music. Okay.
Yes.
It has been a proven fact that music actually can help people learn. 1, 2. It helps people and their moods. It affects moods. Music is known to change people's moods.
Yeah. I have this thing where, like, days that I am sad and I am down for no apparent fucking reason, that I listen to sad music.
Right.
That's all I want to do is just listen to music that kind of drags me down. And I still do it. I probably won't stop, and I don't understand why, but it feels like it helps me cope a little bit.
Right. No, 100%. And I agree with you, actually. Oh my god.
Looks like the north.
Yeah, the one's on the ramp, but you won't be able to get them. You're inside. So, music is my coping skills for a lot of different things, though. Music is my first coping skill for my mood and my depression, and even my mania when I'm too manic. I change what I listen to calm myself down. Sometimes I'll listen to classical music. Sometimes I'll listen to meditation music to kind of bring my brain into a more solid state, right? Like a state where I don't have to think per se, right? Because that's a lot of what mine is. I have rapid thoughts. However, music also helps me learn. And that's something that is directly related to my mental illness. In order for me to retain some information for certain things, I have to listen to music while it's happening. I have to listen to it. I have to have both sides of my brain, my left side and my right side. My creative side needs to be working while I'm reading information for me to retain that, because I have something to associate it with at that point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess people look at me strange when I do that, because I'm always having headphones on. People think I'm crazy because I always have headphones on, but people don't understand that when I have headphones on, that is actually like my true self. Does that make sense? It's the only thing that really makes me feel like myself. So, would you think that maybe something that we could fix you know, the system on would be allowing kids in school, allowing adults in college, and at work, the ability to listen to music while they're working, and the ability to listen to music while learning and in class.
Yeah.
Or do you think it would take away from what's going on?
No, well,
And how would we
man,
monitor
it all
those?
just depends. It all just depends on the person.
Right.
That's what's so hard to, like, have opinions on it. So it's just, it's hard to say because everybody's so different in what they do and how they deal with that there's no real way to tell, hey, what helps here, what helps there.
Right. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I think we should change topics.
On to dogs. Jokes.
Yeah, jokes. Tell me a joke.
Tell you a joke with the horny.
I did not hear any of that. What?
What did the horny toad say?
What?
Rub it.
My fucking god, I hate you. What the
Oh
actual
no.
fuck?
You never heard that?
I have not heard that.
Oh, hey,
Oh, what's up, man? You are currently on a live stream if you want to stay talking.
okay.
Do you mind if we ask you a bunch of weird questions?
Oh, yeah, no,
You like-
no problem, though.
Yeah, it's like a podcast kind of live stream.
Give me the fucking controller.
So these will be like some serious questions. This will actually be fun. What is your opinion on what happened in Florida?
Well, I mean, it was,
Locate the
Bad
biohazard
thing.
container.
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Right.
feel bad for everyone. But I mean, like,
Okay. Where would you sit on the gun control fence? I guess. Do you believe that with this happening that we would need more gun control, or do you think that we would, you know, maybe do away with gun control or educate more? Like, I don't know. What's your opinion on that?
well, you see, my guy. Guns.
5
Yeah.
seconds to go.
I'm gonna do my sound effect of a gun.
Biohazard container and
Bad.
secure it.
Right? Or like, it's like me eating chicken without my hands using a fork, like bad.
Okay.
So I believe shouldn't have a lot of guns like that.
You don't think we should have guns at all?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, like, you know, the thing goes still to that. Oh, damn, I was out. But yeah, we shouldn't have guns. We should just use like a Xbox 360 controllers to like kill each other if we want to. I think it's pretty much bad since other people are getting hurt.
I'm gonna go ahead and mute this guy.
Oh,
All friendlies have been eliminated.
Oh god. And see, this is what we're dealing with. People that
It's all a
don't get
joke,
it.
man. It's all
It's all a joke
yeah.
for people. It's all a fucking joke for people. People don't care. I can go to Home Depot. Okay,
Thanks.
when it
Shout
comes
out.
when it comes to guns, I'm just gonna clarify this and what really should happen. It's not gonna matter because I can go to Home Depot. I can get the equipment to make a fucking pipe bomb if I so choose, and blow something up. If we take away guns, that's what's gonna happen. So realistically, what it needs to happen is we need to be fucking open about it. We need to be like, hey, dude, you got a gun? What are you doing with this gun?
We need to protect the
Right?
biohazard container.
True.
And be like, and if you feel uncomfortable, leave. Right?
Op 4 drone located the
I don't know,
biohazard
man.
container.
People are fucking jokes. Okay,
And just everything's funny to everybody.
right.
17 kids died and he's just making jokes.
Yeah, he's making fucking jokes about it. It's fine. So, let's change the topic. Runaway Voices, aka Kylie.
10 seconds left.
I commented and it went away, so that's
5 seconds and counting.
I agree, Kylie.
Op 4
But let's
drone
change the
has located
subject.
the
What is the
biohazard
subject that
container.
we should discuss currently?
Sorry, that was a Jack and Coke burp. That's my bad.
Hey, was it Ghostman that was doing that? Should I just shoot him just for fun?
I think it was Gold Rogue, but I'm very unsure, so maybe
I'm
don't.
pretty sure it was Ghostman. I'm pretty sure Gold Rogue was their friend. Or ask CJ. Ask CJ what's a topic that he's currently been, contemplating in his life.
CJ, give us a topic. A topic to discuss. Dallin, I don't appreciate your smart-assness. Did you hear what he said?
Yes.
surrounding what you're already talking about.
No, it can be anything.
Something new.
Oh, you know what? We will talk about something. I've got it. Let's discuss privilege.
White privilege or just privilege in general?
Privilege
What
in
do you
general.
mean?
What is privilege? Okay, I had this discussion a little bit earlier, and we'll also talk, feminism or whatever, and equal rights and equality, right?
Okay.
What is it? Aren't we already all equal? Didn't we all, like in America, become equal after 9/11? Do you remember anything beyond that? Do you have total recall of the shitty fucking things that people were doing before that? No.
No.
So, why don't you say, oh my god. There's one behind you, Jed. On the wall.
Right behind me? Who needs a dock?
I do.
Oh, come
Okay.
here, you beautiful
So,
bitch.
what is privilege?
Man, I was actually playing Fortnite with my, let's just say, minority friends.
Protect the
That-
biohazard container.
Oh, shit.
Biohazard container
That told me
securing paused. Take out the
Boost me,
white
boost me,
privilege
boost me.
is definitely a thing. I gotta boost myself and then I'll boost you. That told me white privilege was a thing, and I was like, I don't think so. I really don't. But it's hard to say that completely. I don't think it's a thing. Because half of me is like, yeah, definitely. Like, white people do get treated better than black people, Asian people.
I disagree. Only outside of America do they, because this is something that I can go on and on about. Because I am a mentally ill white man that I should have everything already figured out. That I should be able to afford everything. That I already have a fucking amazing job because I'm this fucking middle-aged, not even middle-aged, I'm fucking 24, male, white male, and I should have everything already done. I have a job supposedly. I don't, live paycheck to paycheck, but I do, So I look at privilege like, okay, privilege is wealth. Privilege is being able to get away with things. I never get away with shit.
True, fair,
You know?
yeah. Me either. And, me and my dad had that talk. He was all pissed off at me, and he told me, I'm sitting at 21, and he told me, he's all like, well, how old are your friends? And I say, 20, 21. He's like, well, how old are you? And I'm like, 21. And he says, well, when I was 21, I had my own house. I had
Right.
a good job, and I was doing this and that. And it's like, well, you got to understand that things are different now.
Now, right.
And you
And that's the
can't
thing.
just tell me that
Right.
You know,
Yeah. No. Yeah. 100%. You continue. Sorry.
and it's just, I kind of told him that. I was like, dude, it's just like, you apparently don't understand how much things have changed since you were my age. And
Who do you? I want to ask you a question, Jed. Who would you say? And we're gonna go into stereotypes, right? Who would you say,
Insertion in 5 seconds.
gets bullied the most?
as in what?
Container located. Proceed to
Okay,
locate.
between the ages
Race?
of, okay, yeah, we're
what do
gonna
you-
go just age-wise, and then you're gonna go stereotypical, as in like explain to me races and genders, right? So we're talking between the ages of 14 to 18, so middle school and high school. What kind of people and who gets bullied the most?
Middle school.
And what
Just
gender?
Speaking
And
from personal.
right, what gender and what
Dudes.
age?
Dudes from the time I was fucking, you know what, it went way back for me.
Hostile activity.
Oh, I got bullied since I was fucking 4.
Container.
Yeah, no,
Because of
I
my
feel
mom.
that, definitely.
Right.
I got bullied because I was chunky, you know? And
Right.
I'm not saying dudes were picked on more because I don't want to say that, because I know girls can be just fucking
God.
awful. You know, you did
Oh,
your
yeah.
eyeliner wrong in high school.
You're too
and
fat,
bitches
you're a
are all like,
slut.
what the fucking, that's disgusting.
Right.
And, you
Right.
know,
And I'll even go to the extent that realistically, it's not white males. It's everyone is honestly bullied and looked down upon equally.
Threat is neutralized.
Because
Op 4 eliminated.
white females get told that they're sluts and they get everything they want and they're spoiled. Latina females get told that they are dirty in bed. Right? I've heard that saying
What?
many times. Yeah, that they're
never heard that.
the Latinos are crazy in bed, or that, you know, I bet she's a fucking freak, right? I hear that shit all the fucking time, right? Or we'll go to the extent of black man, right? Oh man, he's gonna play basketball.
Yeah.
How many times do you
Yeah.
hear that?
Well, even at that, you know, there's a tall stereotype too.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
I went to high school with a bunch of tall kids, and they're like, "Oh, you play basketball?"
Right,
Like,
Michaela's-
no, I'm
Michaela's
actually
brother.
uncoordinated as shit. You
Right.
know.
Michaela's brother is a perfect example of that. He doesn't play
And I'm a
basketball, but
perfect-
he's 6'5".
perfect example of the guy who asked him if he played basketball.
Right. And that's fine, dude. Like, I guess the point I'm trying to make
Like-
is that privilege is not fucking real. It is a dog
Well,
eat
like
dog
Taylor just
fucking
said to me,
world.
You know, Taylor, how tall are you? Six even?
Oh yeah,
6'2"?
and she's a female,
What?
so it's even more.
We're just gonna say 6 even. She gets asked all the time, "Oh, do you play basketball? You gotta play basketball." You know, she's tall. She's a tall
Right.
girl.
But she doesn't want to.
10 seconds.
So, I guess like that's my thing, right? Is that nobody really has privilege, right? Everyone is
Container at all costs.
bullied the same amount. Everyone is told that they're shitty people the same amount as everyone else.
Yeah.
Really what it comes down to is who's thick-skinned and who's not. Who's able to be like, okay, that's your opinion, fuck you. Right?
Yeah. And I feel like most of the people who are able to say that are people that are like our age that have just taken so much shit.
That just give up.
That yeah, it's just like, you know what, fuck this, fuck all you, and this is how it's gonna be. Like, I don't care what you think, I'm just doing me.
Right. I don't know, man. Like, and I honestly get tired of hearing white privilege this, white privilege that, when I'm over here barely making it fucking by, barely fucking, like, my health is shit, bro. I honestly currently believe that I might have a fucking brain aneurysm. Like, an unruptured brain aneurysm. That can fucking kill me. But I can't afford to go to a fucking doctor without having to ask people for fucking money.
Nest in position.
Kylie brings up a perfect example. Stereotypes exist within every race. Everyone gets bullied. However, she believes that prejudice still exists, and it's sad because we're all fucking humans. And I agree. And I guess that's the issue, right? Is that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and people don't know how to handle that.
Yeah. No, I definitely feel that.
Like, I come from a sales background, right?
Mhm.
1 second here.
Lay the nest.
I'm also gonna sound whore for just a minute.
You're good.
Definitely left side. Sounds like they're northeast.
That went on me.
Well, you're perfect northeast from me, bro.
Oh yeah.
He's like, ah. That's a good video. That's good comedy.
No, it's more
I'm battling with this Habana right now.
Yeah. Going shot to shot.
Op 4, last operator
There
standing.
you go.
Got her.
Stay on OBJ and that should be good. Oh, sounds like left. Side.
Oh. He went to jump on me and I caught one of his legs.
Oh, behind me?
Friendly operator remaining.
Oh my god.
Oh, you traded.
I fucked that up, dude. I fucked that up. What? Did I kill him?
Yeah, you
How?
traded, but they still won. I don't understand.
Neither do I. If my kill was last kill on the screen. What?
Right.
I don't like that. He went 11 and 2. That dude went 11 and 2.
They got carried. Pro Young Rambo.
Alright. He deserves that name.
But like, okay,
So
I look at it like
that's
this.
my favorite word.
I look at it like this, right? Stereotypes, yes, they exist. Fucking prejudice exists. Yes, I agree. However, I feel like it only exists because people let it exist.
When you don't like someone for a specific reason, no matter what.
Supposed to be right
Not a
there.
specific reason, CJ. It's more or less prejudice is like, oh well, you are this color, and I don't like everyone I've ever met, and they're this color are this kind of way, so I'm just gonna assume that you're this kind of way and not associate with you.
That's what I said, though.
Oh, I mean, but that's not a specific reason, though.
Hi.
But even, what up, Taylor?
What up?
What you talking about? What you doing?
Nothing.
What's your opinion on privilege?
There's no such thing as privilege, I think.
Okay. Explain.
Yeah. The only privilege there is rich and poor.
Agreed. Yes, 100%. The only
There's no
privilege.
white privilege. There's no
not-
black privilege. I don't
There's
fucking know.
there's only money privilege. There's only wealth
Yeah.
privilege.
There's tons and millions of millionaires who are different colored than white.
Yeah. I mean, look at the creator. I believe Ted, right? Ted is owned by an Indian man from India.
What is?
Ted. It's a company. It's a medical company that is. You should look it up. It's a pretty cool company. Like from some of the stuff I've read, I haven't looked too much into it, but it was an Indian male that started the company, and he is now like a multi-billionaire. Look at the top board members of Google. 3 of them are white, 2 of them are of other color, and I mean, and I think 1 is female, right? Like, I agree with you. I don't think that you can really say that there is privilege when you look at wealth and the amount of other colored people. Look at basketball. If white privilege was a thing, then why is the NBA not full of just white people?
Exactly.
And why does LeBron James get paid more than somebody else, right? I mean, it's because of his talent. It's not because of privilege, per se.
Yeah. I don't. CJ, you wanna? Here's CJ.
Alright, CJ.
Hey.
What up?
Oh, you know, just sitting here.
Give me a topic. Let's talk about something.
This is what I said earlier when you brought it up, but I guess. Just crazy in general.
What about, what crazy?
Like what kind of things, like what kind of, symptoms and... fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? Just what kind of crazies cause, school shootings and stuff like that.
Okay. So like how are school shootings and mass shootings caused?
Like do you, not just that, but more, based around mental health issues. Like, do you think most of the time it's because someone is delusional?
I think a lot of those issues come to a break of reality, right? And what I mean by that is, I think the 19-year-old had a break of reality of what is real and what isn't anymore, and he couldn't.
Losing touch in reality.
Right. He because he didn't have emotion. He wasn't able to have emotional connections with people because nobody wanted to. Because he was stigmatized. Because while in high school, he was the weird kid. Right?
Yeah.
And the more and more that you isolate yourself, the more and more you learn that people are just shitty. You don't have that emotional connection or emotional bond with others.
Yeah. A lot of the time I think it can stem from... Like, because when you... I know this from experience, but spending so much time on the internet, like, that's when you really just see, like, the cesspool that humanity is.
Right, yeah. Would you say that it also could have very well derived that maybe he, at first, the reason why he was weird, it was at first that he showed more emotion than others, and then he was looked at as a pussy. And as a male, in this day and age, if you're looked at as a pussy, you're looked at as weaker than others.
Yeah,
right?
showing
and
more emotions equates to being weaker.
Right.
That happens a lot in middle school and high school.
Yeah. So if we can take away the stigma of what really emotion is, and that it's okay to have emotion, I mean, I feel like we could do a lot of good.
Yeah, it just... I think you were talking about it earlier, but we need, more, like, topics in schools, like, educate much more about, different mental issues, not just, like, math, science, language, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I believe that it should be a class in general. I feel like it should be a class. I think there should be a class on emotion. I think there should be a class on mental illnesses and what they are, and what realistically can happen with these people that have mental illnesses, and what to do in a case of somebody having a mental breakdown. That's the biggest thing. What to do for people that are having a mental breakdown. You don't tell them that they're shitty. You don't tell them that they're not loved. You fucking show them that stuff. You don't just tell them that they're loved. You don't just tell them, oh, well, it's gonna be okay. You fucking show them that it's gonna be okay, right? Because you can't just fucking tell somebody that's already depressed and already wants to kill themselves that, oh, don't kill yourself because you do have friends. Well, obviously they fucking know they have friends, man. Like I've tried to kill myself before, right?
Yeah,
and I knew I had friends at the time I tried to kill myself, but at that point it wasn't worth living for. My friends, I could give a damn less about my friends at that time.
Yeah,
now, it wasn't until...
Yeah,
continue, sorry.
I've been to a few, I just said I've been to psych ward a few times, and like I went to rehab recently, and I just learned a lot about stuff, and it's knowledge that I could have used, like,
beforehand.
Exceptional, yeah, like, much younger.
Yeah. 100%, man.
Different coping skills, just
or what to do
understanding
in a situation when you feel a certain way, like, yeah. Yeah, dude, I was inpatient for a good like 2 months at one time because of, you know, the way I tried to kill myself and like what I did by like leaving like notes and shit. Like, I mean,
yeah,
it's hard. It definitely is hard, and I definitely see why kids have like a hard time fucking dealing with it. But
yeah, it doesn't help that. As you're saying, like the preconceived notion that showing emotion equates to being weak. And
right.
When kids see that, then they stop showing emotion, bottle everything up, and like that's what causes mental breakdowns. Is that they just get to a point where they can't take it anymore.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, have you, if you don't mind me asking, and don't mind sharing, have you ever been diagnosed with anything?
Like
a mental
psychosis or something like that?
Or mental disorder or anything, depression, like anything.
Just depression, ADHD, and I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder when I was younger, but I'm not sure if I have like the genuine chemical balance.
So actually, so you're aware, bipolar disorder is a mood disorder. It's not just a chemical imbalance. It's the inability
it can be caused
to
by outer sources. Like you go from being super happy one moment, and then a few hours later you're just super depressed, and there wasn't anything that caused it.
That's it, really, yeah. Or it could have just been as simple as like a thought going on.
Yeah.
In your head, yeah.
Make mountains from molehills, as it is.
Are you playing right now?
You have been spotted by hostiles.
No, Jed is still playing.
Shit, good shot, Jed. So do you think?
Said good shot.
Do you think that here's a honest good question. Do you think that video games like what we're playing currently can relate to people becoming more violent, or do you think that it could be used as a coping skill to become less violent?
It definitely varies from person to person, but I don't think you should start playing these kind of games when you're still in like the single-digit age bracket, or even until you're like 14 or 15.
See, that's an interesting theory that I actually kind of have, right? Because I have a theory that if we could, like, this game per se is kind of educational, right?
Yeah, it teaches you stuff.
It teaches you stuff about real world and what could happen. I mean, yes, some of it's obviously not real, but some of it also is real.
Yeah. And I think, like when you start these games at a super young age, it desensitizes you to legitimate violence.
Exactly. However, I think and that can be good and bad.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like, so this is an interesting topic, is violence, right? I do believe that violence can solve issues in a correct way.
Yeah.
Right?
I read about how a big coping skill that they were teaching at a rehab, or it's not really teaching, more of just showing. It's a really simple one. It's just you take a bunch of ice cubes and you go outside and you throw them at something that will, where the ice cubes will shatter, and it will like relieve stress.
Right, yeah, actually that there has been studies showing that like just the sound of shattering things relieves stress. So like when I was in treatment when I was younger, because I've been in treatment since I was 8 years old. When I was about 12 years old, I had a therapist that suggested to my mom to go to the dollar store and buy a bunch of porcelain plates, and when I was angry, to go outside and smash the plates. And what that did, and my mom did do that, and what that did is it showed me that